I'm in what we're calling the barn. We've got these feet that are left over off of another piece of furniture. We're gonna be using them to make something for the honeysuckle to grow up. Here's my beautiful pile of lath that just continues to fall over. Gotta figure that out. And then in the back, you can see my lovely pile of 2x4s that are basically growing around the toolbox like a weed. But we're gonna use some of those today.
I don't know if these can be saved, but I'm chopping all the tops off. We planted them and then it was very windy and they were half dead when we planted them. Hopefully you can hear me in all this wind, but we went to Home Depot and I was supposed to just pick up a few lavender, and they had flats of flowers, 10 sets of 6, so 60 flowers for $5. Now, they're root bound, and we've had to rip off the bottoms, but I'm hoping that they survive, and we will have built 2 giant flower beds for $15, which I feel like is a pretty good deal.
So the obelisks I'm gonna be building are gonna go on these honeysuckles here. We're gonna get rid of this little bamboo strips and use those in the garden. And this is kind of a focal point. I don't know that we'll be able to move this. The bottom is broke on it, but we might be able to support that with some bricks or something later down the road. This is a nice little plaque, historical marker essentially to tell you about the church, a little bit of history on it. And we want the obelisks to stand up tall. Jamie's probably gonna paint them white later, but I gotta go get those built. All right, so I found the angle that I wanted to cut these down to, and then I cut one side. So once I had the angle right on one, I just lined it up like this, traced it, cut it, and then I flipped it over on the back side of it so that now I've got essentially kind of like a pointy spear. You can see the angle there, and that way everything will line up in the middle, kind of like a pyramid, but we're gonna call it an obelisk.
All right, Zeb and I are deciding if this is too big. I have a feeling that he may have overestimated.
These honeysuckles are gonna get huge.
They don't get that big.
Look, it's perfect. We'll grow up in there.
In 5 years.
No, just overwater it, it'll do good.
All right. Okay, well then make one more and then I'll paint them.
I gotta get the topper on.
I'm gonna put some moisture control soil on here. Cut them all back. We did amend the soil, but it just doesn't look good. We need darker soil.
All right, so explain to me why you're inside.
I'm just hoping this will make it easier to get the inside. I'll probably just get paint all over myself, but it sounded right.
I just think you've been out in the sun too long today.
All right, so I'm using the cottage colors in white linen because it has a built-in sealer, and we've been told that it's rated for outdoors, but before we claim it, we want to try it on a ton of projects.
Yeah, no guarantees on that. It's experimental at this point.
But so far, we have used it on a few things outdoors. It did not do well on chairs if it was where the water like sat in the chair, but I painted a milk can and it's been fine.
Never in our lives. lifetime. Will you see us back here again? So come before it's too late. Hurry now, 'cause I can't wait. Let's put on our anthem. We'll be singing all night.
It does come in handy when your husband is 6'2". Although careful, leaning up against that, it's wet.
That's all right. These are my paint clothes. I'm about to go paint about 1,500 square feet of wall. I thought I'd show you a little of the progress inside. It's kind of messy because we haven't been sweeping the floor because we're going to have to once we're done all painting and sand that. I hope you enjoy this time lapse of me painting this white primered wall white again. I think you'll be able to see the contrast. This is Sherwin-Williams in pure white. This is a Graco airless sprayer that we got to paint all these walls. And I've got two 40-inch extensions on here that I just screwed them together and then put the nozzle on the end. It's working out really great to paint these high walls. I can get on the ladder and paint a large area without having to climb up and down about 40 times. And it also really helped to paint up above in the rafters too.
I feel like we're making some really good progress. If you want to use the paint products that you saw us use today, visit JamiRayVintage.com. If you have questions about the, how do you say it? Obelisk that we made, be sure to comment below. We're happy to help you out on your garden projects.
So it feels like it's a huge project and it's dragging on and on and on at this point because it has been quite a while. But one of the things that we learned when we were building our house is with a project this size, if you just consistently come and work on it a little bit every day, at the end of the month, you've actually done quite a bit of work.
Our goal is to have everything painted and the trim brushed by the end of the week, so we'll see what happens. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.